A very warm welcome to IDFC First Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. I'm Ritwika Gupta. Tonight we will feature two special conversations in two very distinct industries. We are covering QSR, real estate and water tech in this single episode. In the first segment, we are talking to Aayush Madhusudan Agrawal, founder of Inspira Group. In the second segment, a conversation lined up with Advait Kumar, founder Boon. Aayush, welcome to ET Now, Leaders of Tomorrow. It's a pleasure chatting with you today.
Same here, and thank you for taking out the time to meet with me.
Absolutely. Aayush, to start off the interview, just take us through your journey from launching Chinese Walk to, having a prominent QSR portfolio. It's been quite a journey for you. So how's that experience been like?
No, it's been an absolute roller coaster. It's been 9 years since we started the Chinese Walk. It used to be called Walk Express earlier. But with customer feedback and survey, we realized where we want to go. It needs to be called Chinese Walk, just for better relatability. And until a few years back, we were at 30 restaurants, 30 stores. But now we are at 200. And our next roadmap is to get it to 1,000. And that we wish to do in the next few years, 3 to 4 years. And it's been a great journey, understanding people who we work with, understanding the customer, understanding the Indian market. And I'm very, very bullish on the India trend, right? I feel that the country's, the demographic is such, and we are targeting the belly of the pyramid.
Fantastic. No, but seriously, I like what you said, belly of the pyramid. But give us this overview of, what are the biggest opportunities today, in the QSR sector?
I think I believe that in India, supply creates its own demand because there's so much money in the market, I think, and it's only going to increase. So I'm very, very bullish on the trend, and the opportunities are endless. I think one needs to just have the business model right, from supply chain to marketing to their store economics, and I think that the business will continue to grow.
Fantastic. So I read that you have an ambitious target of 650 crores by March 2025, and also trying to achieve the milestone of 1,000 crore by FY26. What is the strategy in place? A few things that have worked for us in the past, we want to continue doing that. So there are two ways the revenue is going to grow. One is, as we call it, the same store growth. We want the revenue from the existing stores to grow. And the second is by increasing our footprint to cater to new neighborhoods. Sure.
So our business is such that we need a restaurant in each locality to be able to service it. And we cater to a 3 to 5 kilometer radius. And so the second is, so we need to increase our footprint to cater to more markets. And we are careful on where we open stores because that's a long-term commitment. And the second is, from our existing stores, we need growth.
Sure.
We've grown a good amount, good percentage since February, March, and we hope we can continue to do that.
Absolutely. And speaking of markets, I read that you're also targeting tier 2 and tier 3 markets as well, and you want to open 100 stores more by the next year, right? So run us through your expansion strategy.
So we opened 200 stores. We wanted them to stabilize. We are seeing good numbers from there. And now we are going in our next phase of expansion. By March 25, we want to add another 100 stores. And that will bring our run rate to 650 crores by then.
Sure.
Tier 2, Tier 3, on a delta basis, we are still low there. Percentage-wise, we are 10 to 12% in Tier 2, Tier 3. But the growth is going to come from there because we will continue to expand in Tier 1 as well, where in all top metros, we have a good presence. In the south, in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Mumbai, NCR. But we feel that on percentage basis, out of 100, a lot of stores will come from Tier 2, Tier 3. And that has been our strategy because we have really thought that we need to create, we've gone for consolidated growth, growing in the cities first and then penetrating in the other markets. And we want to continue to do that.
So is that where you're seeing the maximum potential, the tier 2, tier 3 markets?
For us now, it will be.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, now just shifting gears a bit from QSR to realty right now. Tell me, what inspired you to start a venture in India's real estate sector, and actually Bombay's real estate sector, which is very competitive, and how are you scaling this venture of yours?
So see, two things that we have, even in the food business and even in real estate, we've believed in one thing, which is the shift from unorganized to organized, right? We think that there is a, so when I came back from the US, I studied there, and there's a lot of stores. We think that, chains are needed, and we didn't want to tie up with an international brand, so this is, the food business is our own. Somewhere we feel that the real estate sector has seen a transformation post GST and RERA regulations.
Sure.
And we thought that fresh liquidity in the industry would be really beneficial. So that's what we did. That was our intention. We're a 2 to 3 year old company for residential real estate. For now, we've only done redevelopment. We have about 7 projects ongoing. So yeah.
All right, okay. And if you can run us through some of the trends that you are seeing in the real estate market, the consumer preferences, what can you tell us?
I think, with RERA, customers are very comfortable because they know they'll be protected, which was a fear earlier, and it was a regulation, I think, due for a long time. And it's great that the country has come up with this. And the trend is you see more end-use customers. You see great amount of wealth and income in the customer's hand. They're willing to purchase for their own use. Post-COVID, they want to live better, right? Because they want, they know that, so it's become importance-wise, there's become a bigger category for them, because rather than putting in the stock market, or they are continue to do that, but this is something, at least the wealth that they're enjoying. Okay. And this I see in luxury as well, and in all segments as well. But yeah, so people are buying more homes, less for investment and more for personal use.
Sure. Aayush, our show, Leaders of Tomorrow, is watched by a lot of startups, medium, small-sized businesses as well. I want to know, what are the opportunities for smaller businesses in the food industry as well as in the real estate sector? So you can give me your answers in 2 parts.
So I think in both the industries and across any industry, there is ample amount of opportunity. One just needs to know, have conviction on what they are doing. And it may be difficult in the early days, but sooner or later then they'll catch on, because there is always a learning curve.
Sure.
And that's what we have seen as well. We had some ups and downs even in the 3-year-old real estate company, as far as stabilizing of the team and the projects that we choose. You just have to ride the wave then.
Sure. And in terms of challenges, what can you talk to us about?
So see, in both, coincidentally, our challenge for food as well has been getting the right locations. There's so much demand by businesses that are coming up, and we want to, all of us want to be in the most prime locations. So one challenge is that. And even over here, I think project acquisition and redevelopment, right? So what we want to do for real estate. So one of the, it takes a long time for the societies to agree to go for redevelopment, and that is the future for a city like Bombay where we operate.
Sure.
And we believe that, right location I think is important for both, and that is the challenge.
Sure. And apart from your food business and the real estate business that you have, are these the 2 priorities, or is Inspira Group looking at other businesses as well?
We're always looking for expansion. We're always looking for new industries that we can enter, and maybe some small to mid-size acquisitions as well, in related fields or otherwise. But it really has to resonate with our mindset, and that's where we feel that the future for us is.
Right, and any sectors in particular that you are
we're open for all sectors. There is nothing that we never say never, right? So yeah. So we're open to that.
What would you say the influence of technology has been for both your businesses, especially QSR?
We try to automate a lot of things to make life easier for our team, and to put our processes straight, because we believe that for scale that is important. We've been able to do that in a large way for the food. Real estate, we're still a long way to go, and this is right from we don't have an integrated ERP right now, but technology does play an important role. It is still not we've not made it very complicated. It's very straightforward, but in the times to come we will have to invest more.
Sure. And finally, tell us, what is your vision for Inspira Group, at large? Where do you see the company, growing? How do you see the company growing in the next few years?
So see, we believe again in the India story. I don't believe people and entrepreneurs in India know what's going to come to them when the country grows. It's easy to say 5 trillion, $10 trillion economy, but with that, businesses also have to grow. Only then that's going to happen. And for that, we are somewhere prepared, or we're preparing ourselves. And I think so are other entrepreneurs as well, investing in capex. And we believe that with times to come, we will grow, and so will our other businesses that we either start or acquire.
Fantastic. It was lovely chatting with you, Aayush. Thank you so much.
Thanks for taking out the time again.
It's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. In this segment, we delve into the water tech, sustainable hydration solutions, water ATM, yes, you heard me right, and water sustainability. In conversation with Advait Kumar, founder Boon. I'm now joined live by Advait Kumar, founder Boon. Good to have you on the show, Advait.
Thank you so much for having me here.
So to start off, Advait, could you tell us what Boon is all about and what motivated you to focus on water tech and sustainable hydration solutions?
Yeah. So, this was more like a journey where we ended up today, but it all started where we wanted to. So in India, we started having these smaller scale residential water purifiers where everybody has one at home, and then of course you have these large scale water treatment plants in cities. But there was a market that was being left out, which was people who really can't afford a water purifier for their home, and their area, for example, is not covered by a large water treatment plant. So you can think about urban villages. And even rural villages where they don't have pipe supply and they can't afford water. So we wanted to make a water purifier for community level, and by design what happened was that these community water purifiers called water ATM were all across India, and to be able to manage and monitor them and to keep the price point low, we ended up developing this technology to communicate with our devices and communicate. And that is how we ended up with like a water tech product. And soon we realized the potential of replicating the same technology in lots of other applications. So it started off being with the intent of impact for giving affordable and accessible water. And that's how it led us to developing this technology over a long period of time.
So Boon is recognized for integrating AI and IoT in its water purification systems. Advait, could you elaborate on how these technologies work together to monitor and ensure water quality in real time?
Sure. So it's quite simple, really. If you think about, let's say, your air purifiers, which nowadays you can open an app and see what's the AQI, and you can see what is the AQI outside. It's similar to that in the essence that we have sensors that is monitoring the quality of water which is coming in and the quality of water that is going out. So and so it basically adjusts based on the quality of water that is coming in and gives. So the idea is to give information to people. This is the quality of water that you're getting. So a lot of times your water purifiers are like a black box. You're putting something in and you're hoping that the water coming out is good enough, but you don't know what's going in or what's going out exactly. And so the idea here is that you get the information. So it's very similar to, like I mentioned, air purifiers, where you have these sensors built in, so you're getting water quality in and then water quality out. The AI component of it is actually a little bit more interesting. So we have all of these water quality sensors all across India. And let us say you live in, let's say in Noida, and you want to install a water purifier. So you probably wouldn't know what's the kind of purifier I need. But because of our data, because we have filters maybe around it, so you enter your zip code 1 to whatever thing, and then you will be able to get, okay, this is the kind of water quality we expect. This is the kind of purifier you would need. Because not all water is same, contrary to thinking that, okay, I'll just put RO and it'll work everywhere. It won't. Some places don't need RO actually, and by using RO, you're wasting water. And some places, your standard house ROs will not even work because the quality of water is not as good. So that nuance gets built in by this, by having a network of purifiers. So we are able to cater to exactly what is required, not over-engineer it or under-engineer it.
So Advait, I understand that Boon is now serving over 900 corporations, including major hospitality chains. Can you tell us how has your solution helped hotels transition away from single-use plastic bottles, and what feedback have you received from these partners?
So actually there was this epiphany that happened with me. I went to, so we have a lot of water ATMs. They are actually a trademark product, and water ATMs, you put some coin in and you get water. And we always thought that, and they're installed in railway stations and municipal areas. And we always thought that, okay, this people bring their own bottles, so they're avoiding plastic. But what I realized was that people in this area actually, people who are in bottom of the pyramid or low income groups, for them, even a plastic bottle is something that they probably use like 100 times, till it becomes scratched and white before they discard it. Whereas people in higher income groups, nowadays we use those tiny little plastic bottle ones, take few sips in a restaurant or in a hotel or even in shops, and then throw them away. And so the plastic wastage of that was enormous. And we thought to ourselves, okay, can we do something to help remove that plastic? Now, the biggest cost of a plastic water bottle is the cost not of the plastic, not of water, actually the cost of transporting the water bottle to you. And so the idea that we came up with is that what if you make your own water and you package it yourself? So we started making these mini plants for hotels. And instead of getting these bottles from there, some far away area, they can make their own water and they can serve it to their guests. We were able to start working with lots of hotels in India and outside India, and help them remove plastic, get sustainable glass water bottles, which is assured thanks to our technology, and at a cost that is cheaper than buying plastic bottle.
Fantastic. Boon has also pioneered innovations like refillable water solutions and water ATMs for corporations and hotels. Can you tell us more about these initiatives?
Yes. So again, a very common fixture in all of our offices and all of our hospitals, everywhere are these 20-liter jars. And again, it's the same problem. These are transported to you from far away. If you see them, they look really dirty and they have a lot of scratches. And of course, there's also the problem of microplastic contamination. So instead of this refillable system, for example, our smart water purification. Again, it's a water purifier, but the smart component of it is basically monitoring the quality of water, monitoring your filters, monitoring that the water is exactly what it needs to be. So we are basically helping organizations avoid getting these bulky jars and then storing them and then using them.
Okay, and are there any strategic partnerships or collaborations with other tech innovators that Boon is exploring to further advance water purification and monitoring?
We have partnerships in the sense that we use technology tools like Microsoft Azure, or we use Amazon AWS, those kinds. But we at this moment, we don't have any technology-related partnerships.
Right, and as MSMEs play a significant role in the tech and water sustainability sector, how does Boon support or collaborate with smaller enterprises, and what role do you see them playing in driving growth in this sector?
MSMEs are our backbone of our economy, and they're really very, very important. So we have a technology platform. And the way water purification market in India works is that actually what we see out there, these big brand names, they only are a very fraction of the providers. Most of them are, you will have few smaller MSMEs in every city who are making these water purifiers and serving them to their clientele. Again, these water purifiers need constant servicing and maintenance. So these guys are the ones who are able to actually provide that care. What we are doing is we are providing the technology that allows them to service that. So not just in India, actually across the world. Let's say a smaller company who wants to, let's say make this water purifier, they can buy our water stick, we call it, and they can put it in their water purifier, and they will get the same level of intelligence and all of the AI and everything that we have with them. Similarly, smaller organizations, sometimes they don't want to rely on more expensive outcomes, and they just want water for their own consumption. They can also buy this water stick and put it in their water purification system they are using, and they will get the same intelligence as well. So that is one way we are working with the MSMEs in this space of water purification.
Absolutely. And finally, what advice would you give to entrepreneurs in the water tech sector who aim to create impactful technology-driven solutions?
So especially for water entrepreneurs, I will say that it is incumbent upon us to maybe look at the mistakes that have happened by our predecessors. For example, on rolling out certain technologies and certain concepts around water. And water is very, very critical, very, very important. And so at least in the water space, I will say we have to treat it in very carefully. And for the technology aspect of it, again, I will just say that, a lot of technologies that we are using, for example, reverse osmosis is, I think, 5 decades or 6 decades old technology. So there is so much innovation that can be done on this. It's not just the monitoring part of it, it's the filtration part of it. And in India, we really need it, and we can really be in the forefront globally for this.
Well, thank you, Advait, for joining us today. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you, Ritwika. Thank you for having me.
With that, it's a wrap on this episode of IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. We hope you enjoyed the conversations. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.